Hi guys, what is going on? And welcome back to the mighty Japanese shogunate. Hopefully soon to be minus the shogunate part. So if you remember last time, we really started to grow our economy, but we kind of unfortunately got embroiled in a really excessively large war down here in Borneo over really a pathetically small amount of land. But anyway, we did it, we survived, we managed to win in the end, but it did take up the bulk of our time. But our GDP is really starting to grow a little bit exponentially now, which is great, so hopefully that keeps going. And we've been working technologically on upgrading our military, getting our general staff finished, which is going to give us access to skirmish infantry, which is kind of one of the upgrades, which will make quite a big difference to hopefully how our army is going to perform in the field. So that's kind of what we're working towards. We'll set off things running. In terms of our building queue, we just have an absolute boatload of wheat farms all coming online. Just absolutely loads and loads and loads of them because we have been, if I go to the market, in a bit of a wheat deficit for quite significantly, over 1,000. So hopefully that's what we're going to rectify at the moment, and it should also provide us with a good chunk of money as well, hopefully along the way. I think we're building them all up here. We are. It's going to take us basically to, well, like a level 25 wheat farm or something like that. It's going to use up a lot of staff, employees, people, population, that's probably the right word. But if we had a look at the population last time, still a really good chunk of them were peasants, 171,000, and I'm hoping that we can essentially deal enough with that just by converting people basically from peasants to labourers in the fields, which is a little bit more efficient at least. I think if I looked, we've got them all, on the correct growing programme. Yeah, look at the amount of wheat we're starting to produce already. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Market report, someone's cancelled. Ammunition and artillery. We've got a pop-up. We'll go for that. Let them party. We're also trying to enact interventionism, which basically takes us away from our fairly closed economy. Goodness, so much. People are importing, disimporting. Our little artillery market is going through the roof. So currently we're on traditionalism, which obviously gives us massive things like the taxation capacity decrease, which is a problem because, we're way under taxation capacity in a lot of our places. 155 out of 400, so about 50% down. So trying to do that, it should bring us in quite a good chunk of money. We obviously last time massively have been upping our building queue. We now have 95 construction prowess per time, which is also a really kind of nice thing to have. I don't think we, at some point, we need to think about going to steel frame buildings. What's that going to use? Loads of tool, loads of steel, and loads of glass. Oh, there's our general staff. Let's go over to our military. So it's going to cost us a little bit more, but it's probably worth it. Let's get that all upgraded. So, cracky, so many pop-ups. What are we going to research next? I was thinking about doing Quinine to see if that opens up any more potential colonisation sites. What were we doing? Army, people, yes. Shortage of things. Ammunition, yes. That is a problem. Because, God, what is going on? Barley. Oh, it's down there. Yeah, no, I'm not really interested in getting involved in that. That looks like it's turning into a larger war than I certainly want to get involved in. So, what do we need? Ammunition. Yes, we've got an ammunition factory down here, I think. Do we not? A munitions plant. So surely this is now viable. But is there a population shortage here? There might actually be. Let's see if this is going to staff on the next update. If it doesn't, then... No, it's not staffing, is it? So, what we're going to do then is build another munitions plant on the mainland somewhere. Where's lowest in terms of urbanisation? I don't necessarily want to build everything on Hokkaido though. Let's build it down here. Get a munitions plant online, and let's just knock that to the top of the queue. Oh God, our construction queue is now 3 pages long. Right to the top, please. There we go. 29 weeks, we'll get that munitions plant online. That'll add quite a lot. We're profound in Malaya. Nice. Doesn't affect us though. Doesn't help us at least. So we do need to continue our conquest as well. But this is why I'm kind of working on getting our military upgraded a little bit more. Because once we can do that, then I think it's a little bit more reasonable to deal with some of this stuff. And hopefully we'll have a slightly higher quality army, and our offensive capability will be at least a little bit better. I mean, maybe we should have thought about doing some other stuff. Different production methods with shell guns, rifling. Triage will allow us to access first aid, which probably would have been useful as well, to be honest. Yeah, quite a few things we've still got to upgrade on the military tech tree, but they do keep kind of plodding in from time to time as well. Elsewise, how are things on our markets? Yeah, obviously the ammunition plant we know about. Tickets, well, we've got a load of train lines queued up. We actually have a load of coffee plantations queued up. Obviously short on our artillery, but I think we've actually got a couple of arms upgrades queued up. So nothing from Man of Wars. We have got dyes queued up. Porcelain and glass we've got queued up as well. See, when we go over to steel frame construction, it is going to cause a monumental shortage. Because steel at the moment I think is in surplus. It is. It's just all consumed by tools. Are tools in surplus or are they in negative as well? No, they're in negative as well. Crikey. So I might just knock... Oh, it's the most efficient tool shop in the world. That's pretty nice, isn't it? Let's knock a couple more on there. Then I'm going to go over here, knock a couple more on my iron mine. Let's get that up to 20. Because once we eventually... I think I put some glassworks in. Let's just get that up to 10. Once we switch over to steel frame construction, that is going to consume loads of glass, loads of steel, which is going to need more iron, and a lot more tools as well. So it's certainly probably going to throw us quite a few problems at once, to be honest. So yeah, I think we've got to kind of think about dealing with that. Oh, our GDP took a little bit of a nosedive. What's happened there? Why has that gone down? Don't like that so much. Balance excluding, if we got rid of our construction, we'd be making 65k, which is kind of comically ridiculous. And we're still running a nice surplus, so we could, in theory, actually up our construction a little bit more. But maybe that would be getting a bit carried away. We are building things fairly quickly. But then again, having said that, you know, maybe it's not. Could put one there. Is there enough people living over there? I'm not entirely sure there is. Let's get another 2 on 9. Oh, maybe we're getting carried away, because when we go to steel frame construction, it's actually going to go a bit ballistic, isn't it? On the rate of construction. Good. Ah, I'm lost in my own building queue. Okay, still plodding along with the munition plant. Good. But we'll get those queued up. We can always shut a few of them down. It may end up costing us a little bit too much with the amount of construction we've got going there. We may have got a little bit ahead of ourselves, but we shall see. People are setting in import routes all the time for these various different parts, which isn't exactly ideal. I was thinking that it might have been a good thing for me to set up a trade agreement with China, because ultimately we're going to want to go to war with Korea, and I think Korea is actually in a customs union with them. Yeah. Which is going to mean that China's quite likely to want to protect Korea, which is not really what we want. We could do with someone attacking China, or China getting themselves involved in a large war with a major European power, so that we can sort of sneak in and nick some of their stuff, basically. But yeah, we shall have to see. Not sure it's necessarily going to happen. So look, our coffee plantations are expanding as well, which is good, because we've been a bit short on coffee production for a while. So we've actually motored our way through all of our wheat farms, which are actually struggling to staff slightly. Unable to fully hire. Let's have a look at the population then. Oh yeah. Now everyone is either servicemen. Let's have a look about... No, we can't do anything there to help them, have we? Free up 8k labourers. But it will force the price of transportation up. Let's do that. Try and free up a few extra labourers. Yeah, I've got no other real way of saving manpower. Oh, we're not even got enough people to fully hire the divisions. Yeah, I might have got a little bit carried away with how much stuff we've built in Hokkaido. I suppose there's only 680,000 people. And yeah, none of them are peasants anymore. Unlike if you sort of come back down, you see, like, we've still got 2.5 million peasants there. Even in our capital, Still 5.6 million peasants, so yeah. Oh, we didn't get it through, but it did get successfully debated, so it's progressing further. And some gold has been depleted on the South Islands. I will accept that because ultimately that's going to allow us to be a little bit more aggressive and hopefully not get involved in a war with Britain. We are running a little bit of a budget deficit, but there we go, we'll be okay. So down here is what we will do is start to upgrade these gold mines. Because you see those have now gone offline, but we want people to still go there, and actually obviously still a good source of money. And when these come back online, you know, we're probably not going to have enough to staff them all, but it should provide us at least with a good chunk of minting income. After the shop door, trade unions get criticised. Well, they're a pretty irrelevant powerhouse, so I don't mind giving the trade unions a little bit of power because I don't think they actually have got much strength at all. They might even still be, yeah, 5%. It's not a massive problem for us. 22% clout still for the shogunate. We just can't quite get those last few little bits sort of got rid of, which is what we're trying to do slowly. Production is up to 105, which is nice. Motoring through everything pretty quickly. Not really quite recovered our GDP. I'm not sure why we had that little dip quite like that. But it should be continuing to grow everywhere. Maybe because we ended up producing too many people on Hokkaido or something. I got closer to fully employed there, look, getting rid of some of the staff using the trains. And these trains come online. Hopefully it will slightly force down the price of the word will come to me in a minute, the transportation tickets. That's it. That's the word. Crikey. Yeah, we've still got 2.8 million peasants in down here in the south, so that's not a massive problem. So we should be able to staff these dye plantations just fine, which we are, and that's going to force the price of dye down because that had got a little bit ahead of itself, a little bit too high. Oh, of course, is our ammunition works now busy working away? It's not making a lot of money though. Why is it struggling so much? Prices of stuff is reasonable. Demand for ammunition is quite high. You'd think they should be growing because surely the demand for ammunition is... Well, they're saying that the demand isn't that high. Let's go have a look on the military. Yeah, demand should be 103, and we're only producing 73, so you'd think there would be enough demand there. I mean, militarily, we should be pretty decent now, hopefully. We're up to our 20 naval fleet, which is nice. I'm glad they've kind of expanded quite rapidly. So then let's have a look down here. If we were to go to war with someone else, we would, to continue our little conquest of Borneo, who would we get involved with? Siam would come in, and they've got quite a few divisions to deploy. God, the Dutch East Indies have got strong. How are they up to 89 divisions all of a sudden? Oh God, have you heard that? To war with France. Yeah, not quite what I had in mind. We can declare for Korea, but, you know, yeah. They're going to bring in the Chinese. And we're going to have to force a naval landing as well. Oh. A little bit down here. Just a little bit of Bhutan. Is there anything interesting on this island? How many people live there? 8.9 thousand. Wow. Yeah. It's just really not worth it, is it? I don't know why the Dutch East Indies have suddenly become so strong. Got 90 divisions. Goodness, there's a lot more money than I thought they were going to have. I mean, or do we just tackle that anyway? Or maybe we also need to think about expanding our own army. I mean, we should hopefully be actually a slightly better quality army. Our relations with Siam are too high. Oh, I'm not sure. Sure what the right relations with Mindanao too. Either likes me too much. Is proving to be the problem. I mean, maybe Siam is the better option to face off against then. And then hope everyone else remains neutral? Siam's not still in the war. They were for a while in a war, weren't they? They are still in a war. France versus Siam. No one's really achieved anything, have they? How can the Siam has lost 21 people in battle, and the French have lost 232,000 people, almost a million either dead or wounded, for like 110 on the Siamese side. Doesn't quite add up, if you ask me. Something's not quite gone right there. But maybe this is the time to make my play. Oh, screw it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's make our diplomatic play. Let's make our play. I don't know if we can actually add a war goal as well or something. Can we add this bit here? I don't the North Borneo front. I want to add a war goal. Conquer state. Yeah, conquer there and there. Yeah, I want the whole lot. Might as well make the whole lot. So the Dutch, of course, are already looking against me. Oh yeah, we can't sway people yet at the moment, can we? But we can mobilise our 2 divisions. We'll advance these to the front. Ultimately, when the Dutch gets involved, we'll end up having to stick people back down to the south like we have to on every single war we're ever involved in. But hey ho, nothing we can do about that. Oh, Siam abandoned their support because they're already in a conflict. Nice. We might have played this quite well. Possibly. Let's see if the Dutch East Indies are going to get involved or not. That's kind of the key question. I mean, I don't really want them to throw all their support behind them, really. If they don't, then we'll easily flatten these guys. It's without a problem. Let's hope that's the case. Let's hope that's the case. We'll keep things plodding along. We're into our hopefully diplomatic moves. So far, they have sided. Oh, God. Do we just deal with them on our own? Yeah, if no one else is going to get involved, I mean, what can we offer? I don't really want to. I'll offer regime change in the Dutch East Indies. That's because the Dutch don't like the Dutch. Let's just see. If no one else gets involved, I'll just deal with it on my own. We should hopefully be able to pin the Dutch down while the rest of our army advances. Let's wait for our troops here to arrive on Borneo, and then we should be able to go from there. Hopefully we're now better quality troops than them as well, which also makes kind of a big difference. You're going to advance to one of these fronts. It's normally this one is our agreed battleground with the Dutch. Oh, Mindanao has supported them. Unexpected. Not hugely useful for them, I wouldn't have thought. Their whole 3 battalions that they're going to launch. And ultimately that makes Mindanao a bit of a future target for us as well, which could be nice for us. Mindanao is damaging relations with us, fine. Great British is improving relations, which is good, which is what we want. All our little railways are starting to come online as well, which is nice. And then we've got a whole stack of universities to go through as well. Oh, we are losing a lot of money, aren't we, per time? Yeah, you can see, look, the Dutch are facing off against us, but we still have an advantage. Because we have an average 64 offense defense, they have 25. Nice. Price of ammunition coming down slightly, but still a bit dangerously high. They've thrown a couple of divisions down here, which is a little bit more. Neutrality, fine. Okay, we're on the countdown to war. They're confident because of their enormous gold reserves, as always. Everyone else is declaring neutrality. which is good. I can't sway anyone now anyway, so nothing we can do about it now, even if anyone else does get involved. There we go. So, to war. So, we'll start advancing this front down here. Should be able to push that relatively quickly. Where, oh, actually, I don't really want to just defend on this front if we can, actually. Even though we outnumber them, I don't really want to go that far down. And hopefully these two just hold land here. And then we should be able to crush them, hopefully fairly convincingly. Yeah, look, our fence is up much higher, which is much more what we want. Absolutely flatten them. I just want to check down here in New South Wales. Has our gold mine depleted? No. Still plodding that one along. We should have our next gold mines coming up soon. Got a whole string of universities, which is actually going to add quite a lot to our overall construction costs as well. GDP's back up on the rise again a little bit. I don't think anyone's advancing on us anywhere, are they? We should be, yeah, we're capturing large swathes of them. Oh, we're going up against a good chunk of the... Yeah, they've moved a lot of their divisions here now, look. Now things are a little bit more difficult. See how this battle breaks out. So this is 7, yeah, so we've got a much better defence, a much better offence to their defence. It looks like we're going to push these guys back, which is good. These military upgrades have been working perfectly for us, which is lovely. Hopefully if we can get interventionism through, we can actually possibly see a bit of a better budget positive as well. Yeah, we should be able to knock these guys down now. Good old fight about it, but we should be okay. Price of artillery is absolutely through the roof. Go on, have him. Yes. Oh, our obligation to Spain expired. Nice victory as well. They took far more dead than we did as well, so we can just continue to stomp all over their land. Look how quickly we're absolutely smashing them this time. Things panned out far, far better. Oh, a little offensive down here. I didn't actually know we were on an offensive down there. Oh, because we moved down here. It's struggling a little bit more, even though we actually had quite a lot higher offence. But we now capture all the land that we need to, and they're basically knocked out the war already, so that's really kind of panned out quite nicely for us, to be honest. I am happy with that. And all our universities are starting to come online. We also have our food industry coming along online soon as well, so that's all looking pretty nifty. Ah, sadly that didn't pass. It's kind of... Oh, just go to the samurai. 15%. What does this mean? Samurai interest group. Let's just do that. Yeah, I don't really mind if the samurai slump a little bit, and that gives us a 40% chance. She's starting to get onto a pretty reasonable chance of success there now, isn't it? Which is good. Which is good. And this war should hopefully end now. And there we go. Conquered the whole goddamn lot of them. Peace treaty signed. Nice. And everyone else has gone back on standby. Cool, that's given us a whole new East Borneo territory as well. I'm not sure it's necessarily got a particularly lot of use necessarily for us. Does it have anything particularly nice in it? Some logging camps. A few livestock ranches, tea plantations, rice farm, a banana farm. Yeah, nothing particularly useful, but still, it's all a little bit of extra money, and it'll all function into the ever-growing Japanese Borneo, which is slowly getting bigger and bigger. Oh, and rubber has just been discovered. Even better. Rubber rush. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Rubber everywhere. The problem is, I've got a bit of a population shortage over here. Oh, we haven't invented rubber. We have not yet... Oh, that's a shame. Is there much demand for rubber globally? Not a significant producer of rubber. Huh, interesting. Well, maybe that's some tech that we'll have to look into at some point shortly. Our weekly innovation speed, yeah, is starting to increase now because we've got a few universities coming online, which is nice. Our population over here should be growing. Yeah, 7k a month. Are wheat farms fully staffed? Not quite, but they are getting there. Keep clearing that through. So I was quite pleased with that performance. It does kind of open up the possibility of going for the Great Queen at some point in the future. Have we got our gold mines built down here yet? No, we have not. Yeah, because a fair few of them are now just peasants. I'll be interested to see how they do when that comes online. Import routes. People keep setting up import routes, particularly Burma. They keep setting up various different import routes and cancelling them again. What have we got coming through? A couple of universities coming through. Then we've got our glassworks, dye plantations, etc. And then before then we're onto our gold mines. Yeah, we certainly got quite a queue going, didn't we? So what have we got and what are we short on then? What have we got a surplus of? Paper clippers, okay. Yeah, our ammunition is about in balance then. That should be this factory down here. Munitions plant. Yeah, it's sitting about in balance. It tips in and out of being profitable by the looks of it. But what have we got that's really expensive? Artillery we're still short on. Sugar we're actually fairly short on. Although a lot of that is actually being exported. Produced from rice farms. Sulphur is in a bit of a shortage. A little bit of that's traded away. We've got a sulphur mine. Oop, what was that? I just clicked X on. Something just happened, but I'm not quite sure what. We've got a sulphur mine around here somewhere, haven't we? Can anyone remember where it is? Ah, down here. Let's add another 2 onto that. Yeah, no need to really start using nitroglycerin quite yet. Put that down there. Have the Shogunate fallen out of their clout yet? No, still not quite. We've still got a Lieutenant General we actually need to get rid of. Which one is it? The Shogunate? Yeah, you can retire, can't you? It decays over 5 years, so let's get rid of you. Let's recruit a second general. So the Japan HQ, samurai or peasants. Yeah, samurai are particularly strong. Explore mountain combat. Yeah, let's recruit you. Yes, and I think you have to go a third time, don't you? There we go. So over time, cracky. Oh, they made them angry, so they've resigned from the government. That was probably a mistake, because it's now going to take really half a year to get to my next thing again. Yeah, but it is going to slowly start to remove their clout, hopefully. I think he stays there for a while. It takes like 5 years for them to drop off as being a general. You can't really get rid of them immediately. Should probably have got rid of him earlier, to be honest, but there we go. Too late now. So we'll keep things plodding along down here. We've got to decide what, if anything else, we want to get involved with war-wise. At some point, you can't help feeling I'd actually be better off just directly confronting the Dutch East Indies, because they're just getting stronger and stronger, which I don't really like. Although they've got quite such a small DGP, so I can't really understand how they can afford such a large army as that they seem to be giving. We've got some inactive trade routes with the Spanish. We get some of the worst ones. Some of these, Jesus Christ, so many. Oh, Spain has broken off their trade agreement with us. Okay, fair enough. Probably because it's not worth the cost of upkeep for them, to be honest. Which I can kind of understand. So one of our gold mines coming through shortly. Only got 50 weeks left on our production queue, so we need to find out what else we're going to be starting to add on to this. So yeah, so our food factory, how's that actually doing? Is that proving to be profitable? It kind of is. Grain, sugar, or fish. Or they can make alcohol from it as well. So sugar is something we're fairly in shortage. We're still not actually producing a grain surplus, despite the fact we built 1,000,001 wheat farms. Ironies and glasses would be nowhere in short supply. So where are we going to build sugar plantations? It's probably more of an overseas problem. Rice farm tobacco. No, it doesn't really help us down there. Do we have any sugar plantations? But a Micronesia. No, rice farms. Doesn't actually look like we do. No, I think not. So it's just the rice farms that produce it then. Because are we still in a deficit for grain? We actually are, amazingly. So I suppose we need to start thinking about upgrading some of our rice farms then. Short on grain, very short on sugar. Yeah. I figure it'll just help us increase. So let's just knock this up to significantly. Let's just build loads of rice farms here. We have the capacity, and this place actually does have the population because it's got 6.2 million people there. So that should be fine for us. So let's keep that one moving along, shimmying down. It's so annoying that they left the government. It was kind of silly to make them angry like that because they're opposing the radicalisation for the removal of their commander. Oh well. Once he's gone, that's an extra 10% down. That should then get them definitely below 20%. I've been trying to work these guys down for years and years, episodes and episodes, and we've still not managed to get rid of them. So it's kind of a bit mad, but we go. Our GDP is still climbing. We're starting to think about overtaking Russia, and we are catching up with America as well, which is nice. France and Great Britain still vying way ahead in the lead, though. As the various other buildings and industries we've got start to come online. Hopefully these gold mines, yeah, now starting to get built as well. Which is perfect. We are looking pretty peachy. We planted our sulphur. Oh yeah, a bit of a shortage as well on clothes a little bit. If we go and have a look in our textile mills. These are all on the correct settings. Yes, they are. So clothes are getting a bit high, and luxury clothes, yeah. Price of silk's going up as well, and dyes. Dye, I thought I'd sold a lot of my dye situation. We've got tools being built at the moment. So silk dyes, let's build another 3 of them. So dyes are being produced down here. Why are these in shortage though? Because surely we just actually added loads of these to the market recently. Produced. Why? Can I have a quick look at dye? Just want to find my dye situation. Where is it? I've got too many resources now in various places. Oh, yeah, they are actually quite short still. So let's up the dye production to level 30. Over here, do we have the population to support that? Yes, we do. Still got over 2 million peasants. So we've got to pick our next research. I'm thinking we should start to look at thinking about continuing on to some of our tier 3 production stuff now. Could go to things like dynamite, actually. Probably would be handy because that's going to stop the population loss up in Hokkaido, and it increases the productivity of some of our mines. Yeah, we can afford the authority loss. That's fine. So that solves that, and then we need to think about silk production. Silk. Somewhere around here we've got silk production. Was it in the capital? Yes. And knock that up to 15, which should sort of around double our silk production. Okay, well that's probably added quite a chunk to the building queue. Not as long as you'd think. I suppose when we were building things so quickly, they actually fly in and then immediately fly back out of the building queue rather rapidly. Does having done quinine open up new colonies? Yes, it does. Amazing. So we can start colonising Indonesia. Where are we starting down here? Wow, that's going to take a while, isn't it? Going slowly from severe malaria. Yay! Because we did downgrade one of our institutions as well because we don't have enough bureaucracy to deal with it. Crikey. We've got a lot going on. But anyway, we'll leave them to it. They'll make a start slowly doing... What's this, Papua New Guinea, then, I assume? Which yeah. Anyway, start colonising down there. We're starting to work this area quite nicely now. It seems like the natural area for us to go down and to focus on is down here anyway, so I think it kind of makes sense. Should get our glassworks coming online. Our gold mines, sorry, should be coming online now in... They are. I haven't got the explosives on with them, but they should be producing a reasonable chunk of minting. I mean, the workforce, we shouldn't be that short of people because so many of them are peasants still. 30.2k. It should be extremely profitable for people to work here. And cash reserve should grow quickly, so they should be able to... we've got a knock on capitalists. Okay, well that's not entirely unsurprising. The population growth should still continue though. I mean, it is growing up slowly. Just slowly expanding, so just have to kind of leave it and hope that it keeps growing, really, I suppose. Okay, let's just leave them to it. Nothing else we can do. Might as well get them built. It should provide enough production to export lead is unproductive. Have we got anything we're in real big positive balance of? Paper is quite imbalanced. Services, really not a lot, is there? A little bit of an excess of fertilizer. Go flog a little bit of paper, I suppose, to someone. But then the problem is it's only going to force up. Yeah, they need absolutely loads. Yeah, I'm not sending them that much. I don't want to do that. A production queue's back down to almost a year. Sulfur mines coming along, and then we've got all our rice farms. Oh yeah, we've got silk production, dye production, our textile mills, all this sort of stuff. Okay, that's nice. We should have 275 days, just under a year, till we can have a go at our interventionalism. These guys, yeah, they are still unfortunately angry at me, so that's not really going to help me in the short term. Yeah, you see, their leader hasn't dropped off yet, because I think he's still there for 5 years. I think that's why it takes him a while to actually disappear, even though we've sort of officially retired him. And he is like 83 as well, so you'd hope he's just going to kind of die soon. You wouldn't think it was that unlikely, would you? But hey-ho. Yeah, look, the minting is slowly rising up on this now. So it is slowly generating us a little bit more money. There's something else we could actually look at technologically for future tech research would be like mutual funds, because it's going to give us plus 10% on our minting. Which actually would give us quite a lot more money, like another 7-8 grand. Only 5 years to research. Actually could be worth giving some serious thought. Although some of these things, I must admit, kind of are plodding along quite quickly. Oh, we've got furniture, tooling, paper mills. Some interesting stuff to research there. Also got electric generation. Oh, there's actually loads of... Oh, and there's rubber mastication. At some point we want to do that, because then we can start to produce rubber and sell it, which should be a good source of income. As we're now up to 7 worldwide, we have overtaken the United States of America. Nice. Things are looking pretty good for us. Oh, and we've just randomly unlocked steel railway cars. Oh, nice. Okay, let's just slow that down a sec. Let's go over to my buildings then. It's probably on urban, isn't it? Trains. He says. Motor industries. No. Trains? Railways, anyone? Development? Under development. So this, what does it cost us? Oh, more in steel. Oh, it actually makes... Let's go for that then. Steel railway cars. It's going to add quite an extra lot of transportation, which is something we're pretty short on our market. I didn't even know I had the option to go to wooden railway cars. Oh, look at that. Basically, overnight, we're now in a surplus of train tickets. Well, that solved more than a few problems for us, didn't it? Should have done that a long time ago. God damn. Yeah, we want people to be moving away from the inefficient agriculture. I had not considered that. We are having a shortage of man of wars, though. You do military ship production, don't you? Oh, bit... Yeah, let's do it. Screw it. We'll slow down clipper production. Let's increase man of war production. We can always expand the shipyard slightly more as well. Although they hardly exactly make a lot of money here, do they? Anyway, what were we doing? Trains, something, steel. Am I short on steel now? That was my question. Steel, where's my steel? No, lead, steel, a little bit more in deficit now. We'll probably upgrade the steel mill one more. They are making a decent profit though, as it's pushed the price of steel up a little bit. Price of coal's relatively high still as well. And we did just expand the iron mine, so you think this would now be producing more? But it doesn't look like it, does it? Yeah, price is still relatively high. Let's get that up to 25, and then we'll come down our coal mine. This is our only real coal mine, and we are essentially short here. Price of coal's up 30% compared to the base price. Oh wow, this is way down on infrastructure. What's just happened? Have we just no. Expensive government goods, low market access. Why is suddenly loads of places run out of market access? Is that just because I've built an absolute boatload of dye plantations? Oh yeah, and just used loads and loads of infrastructure. Changing this doesn't change how much infrastructure it provides, does it? Oh, it does a little bit. Ah. Just used up loads of... Well, we took some infrastructure away to do, because everyone's now got passenger cars. Okay, God, that's going to create a bit more of a building workload than I had intended. So here's going to need to upgrade quite significantly. Do you need to upgrade the ports as well? It really doesn't add a lot of infrastructure at all, does it? Let's build 2 trains for you there then. How are you? 54.85, you're okay. 25.85, you're okay. You're okay. You're okay. 66.85, 47.41, so you're not okay. But you don't really have enough people to staff the extra stuff anyway, so it's all kind of a little bit superfluous. Right. Well, that was all a bit of an unexpected problem. I hadn't realised that was going to all cause that, to be honest. Japanese, West New Guinea isolated. Well, yeah, we kind of knew that was going to be the case. North Borneo. Yeah. This is where we've got some being built, isn't it? Yeah. Well, let's get all that built. That adds a good chunk to our queue. We've got quite a lot to build now. We've still got the rest of the rice farms. Yeah, how did all those rice farms get on? Have they been coming along online all okay? Should hopefully have pushed the price of sugar down a little bit. It certainly should make it quite an efficient little rice farm because it should be pulling production through quite nicely. Price of tools is still relatively high, despite the fact we're building absolutely loads of the things. Yeah. Still going to need more of them though, aren't we? We are still in shortage. Okay, we'll get some more tools queued up. Well, that certainly turned into a fairly hefty building session. Our economy is growing quite nicely though. We're back up, our little GDP is starting to shoot back up again, which is nice. Hopefully our little gold mines down in New Zealand are starting to come slightly more in line, to a whopping 817. I think more peasants would come from the fields and work in now, wouldn't you? Oh, unlock triage. Can that mean if we go to barracks, we can have, not on the conscription, but on here, some basic first aid? Yes, but it needs opium, which we have none of at the moment. Our knowledge of the shell gun is spreading at least. Just consider also where we're going to think about invading next as well. Could come up somewhere like here and then start to push up towards the Philippines. If we go to somewhere down here, then it's basically forcing a war with the Dutch East Indies. I certainly don't want to force a war with the French. I'll have a truce with the Dutch East Indies. Goodness. Makes things a little bit more difficult. Someone just died. I assumed it wasn't the Lieutenant General. No, unfortunately not. Darn. Yeah, that's not really going to help me quite so much. This should roll round, though, in 71 days, so we can see what that presents us with. Devout Scandal. Who are you? Politician from the Buddhist monks. Yeah, I have no particular interest in supporting the Buddhist monks in this case. We're all about the industrialists. We're all about the capitalist power. Oh, our dye plantations are coming along. Nice, 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 nice. We are slowly running a little bit our reserves down. You know, we're down to just 2 million now, but to be honest, it's not a massive problem. And I think as our economy continues to grow, particularly once we get things like interventionism online, then I think that's going to probably solve a lot of our problems really without too much fuss. Check there's nothing else useful to add in on our stuff down here. I don't think there is. Yeah, adding in a little bit more. Our tech research should go a little bit quicker now, our weekly innovation, because we're getting, yeah, all the extra from all the universities that we've been building. So that's kind of nice. Should knock our progress along a little bit quicker. I still think we've got to be a bit careful about going to war with China or getting stuck too much into a war with China if we declare war on these guys. Yeah, you see that China will side with them. Which is difficult. Can they not get involved in a war? That's what I really want. They've got a defensive pact with Austria and Spain. Interesting. Intelligence fairly favouring the interests. No, we need to support the industrialists. They're kind of the main people pushing through my interventionism. 40.2%. Come on, you can pass. You know you want to. 23 days to go. Fingers crossed, people. That would be really nice. It would give us a real boost to income. And really kind of a nice little nifty boost to our economy as well. So it would actually be really good if that does pass. I really hope it does. The population down here is actually growing quite quickly, which is nice. Still short on the fishing wharfs. We've almost finished staffing all my wheat farms. Here we go. One day, it didn't pass. Oh, God. The trade unionists want it to pass. Yeah. 55.3% chance, but we've got to wait another whopping long time. Can we get these back into the government then now? They're slightly less unhappy. Yeah, thank you. Now that should only take 360 days, so that is at least slightly better. And the shogunate are back in government, so they're less causing me political outrage. My standard of living has actually slowly been creeping up, which is no bad thing, so that's coming along okay. Still got a fairly old chunky building queue, just over a year's worth queued in. As we march through our textile mills and stuff like that, which should hopefully all be increasing our GDP further and further and further. I want to kind of keep my rank number 7. Prussia is kind of in our sights, so actually really quite close to overtaking them. Could just do with a good sort of overseas conquest, really, couldn't we? I suppose, I mean, we could, you know, I suppose, what am I doing? This button I want. We don't have any infamy at the moment, so why don't we just make a bit of a play then for Sulu over here? I mean, there's no reason not to, is there? Who's going to actually go against me? We might get the Dutch again, but only the Portuguese and Sulu are the real people who are committing to it. Push out our army. We have a professional army. Portugal has begun conscription. Fine. It'll end up with a little bit of a decent conflict there, but hey, you know, what can you do? As long as no one else gets overly... If the Dutch... Can you just sod off, leave me alone, and stop coming to every single war I get involved in? Dutch East Indies are so annoying. They've been like the bane of my life. At some point, I'm genuinely going to just flat out invade them. Because they're just a massive pain in the arse, aren't they? This is a stage where they're going to either get involved or they're not. So we're going to have to wait and see. Will they get involved? Hopefully not. I can deal with the... Tom has declared neutrality. The Portuguese will turn up here at some point. They're actually travelling over there now. But we still outnumber them heavily enough that I don't think it will be a huge problem. We can actually set our just to raid convoys around there. We actually have a decent navy now, which is nice. Most of our stuff's being built up. Our extra shipyards, which we need to basically staff the man of wars from our ships, are being built. Our iron mines are coming online, and all our extra railways and stuff like that we've got queued up as well. That's all not too bad. But there's a fair bit of cost with all the extra military wages and stuff we've got going on. Government wages are huge at the moment. Yeah, that is fairly expensive, all our little government wages. Congo declares neutrality. Wow. Quite a list of people declaring neutrality. It doesn't look like the Dutch. France declares neutrality. Hopefully, if the Dutch can just stay out of it, that would be nice. On the real countdown to war now. Oh, they've declared neutrality. Okay, that was the big one. There we go. We've got enough people here that we should have a significant advantage. They obviously have a reasonable offense defense. It's going to take a while to push our way through. But there we go. We can just start our war. Can push with all our might, our full 107 battalions. I bet we won't win the first few engagements over here. Oh, we sunk a lot of Portuguese convoys. Yeah, they've got a solid defence, so it's going to take me a while to work that one down. We'll just leave the troops to do their thing, which is not a problem. I'm happy to let them do that for a while. We will ultimately end up winning. We can just keep plodding through as well on our production queue in the meantime. So we've got our iron mines coming up and coming online. Yeah, coal is actually getting an increasing shortage, isn't it? We have got... Oh, I thought we got coal mines queued. Oh no, it's because... it's because of the... inaccess to market is causing part of the problem. But I think it probably does need upgrading anyway. So we'll get it upgrading. So get our little motor industries upgrading, since prices for train engines are starting to escalate a little bit more. And we have got more trains being built as well. So that's kind of the problem we want to deal with. How are we going? Slowly weighing them down. We've obviously got a lot of defence when you're fighting against the Portuguese, which obviously makes it a bit more difficult. But we outnumber them so heavily that we can afford to take the losses each time, and essentially they can't. We can even whack this on a little bit of 5-speed, I think, and we'll see that we should be able to fairly quickly start to wear them down. Yeah, price of coal is starting to warm up a little bit. A little ammunition factory is ultimately proving to be relatively profitable. Just kind of push the price up a fair old chunk. We could build a second one of these. It might almost be a little bit too expensive. Price of lead's rising, is it? Yeah, whack another 2 on the lead mine. Oh. Oh, munitions removed from the journal. Well, that's fine. We still need to get rid of the shogunate. We've not lost their general yet. We need to get rid of them for the extra 10%, and I think that will really force them under, which would be nice. Oh, have we... Oh, we obviously won the fight and forced them out, and there's no more fronts. We obviously managed to capture a little bit of Suzuluzion, or whatever it is. I suppose we could do a naval invasion, or attempt one at least, shouldn't we? Let's have a go at a naval invasion. I've never done one before. Well, we tried one briefly and it was an absolute disaster, wasn't it? 44 days. See if we can sneak one of these in. I think we'll win anyway because the war score's going to tick down. I'm just trying to see if it would speed up our overall conquest of the war. Would be kind of interesting to see. Oh, we just broke 18 million as well on our GDP. Come on, Prussia, I've got you in my sights. We're even going to overtake India soon as well. How long have we got? 4 days. 3, 2, 1. Just slow things down slightly. Let's see what happens then. Yeah, so you get a lot lower offence. Insufficient naval invasion support. I think it's because we're landing a large division with not all that many people. But because the Portuguese aren't directly on this bit of island, it looks like we're going to be able to land okay. So we actually still need more ships to really be landing successfully. Maybe you need as many ships as divisions. Oh, nice! Interventionism came through. Neat. That's put us massively in the positive. Nice, nice, nice. Oh, this has turned into a cracking little episode, hasn't it? And there we go. We've absolutely smashed them there as well. And I think do we now occupy here as well? It doesn't give us any more fronts to advance to, does it? No. Okay, let's just power through the end of this war then so we can get a conclusion there. That'll be nice. Our building queue is flying up quite nicely down here, which is nice. We have got a little bit of a bureaucracy issue. I'm not quite sure why. That's probably because I don't really know. I guess we're using a lot more bureaucracy now in all these various states. It's the only reason I can really think of, I suppose. Yeah, we should probably actually think about doing specific targeted government building upgrades in certain areas. Might have to do that in the capital. Nice, I am pleased about that change though. It's not going to directly affect the clout of the shogunate, but in the long term it will make a big difference. Yeah, look at they're completely collapsing now. And Portugal has removed their interest in Indochina as well, which is nice. Looks like the French are starting to make a bit of progress on Siam, which is kind of more of a shame. I'd rather they weren't doing that. But hey ho. 86.2 negative. Oh, and we just unlocked dynamite. Oh, this is turning into a glorious end of the episode. Let's just quickly hop over to some of our suitable buildings, i.e. our mining buildings. So now we can do dynamite with no losses, can we? Oh, it's going to use a lot of explosives though. Let's go full dynamite then. Total modifiers plus 11,000 minting. Wow. We are officially rich. And then that means we need to, very, very quickly, where did I build my chemical plant? You're going to need a lot more of you. You are going to need a lot more of you. Could do something like steam donkey, improve fertilizer, make quite a lot more money from... Yeah, let's do that, because we're actually quite short on some of our rice farm production. We've got a lot of big farms now. And there we go. We captured Japanese Mindanao. And there we go. And that gives us a place to then start to push into Mindanao proper now in the next episode. Well, that was certainly an extremely successful end to our episode. We are now sitting on a very mighty cash surplus, which is really, really tasty. We're starting to become fairly dominant militarily. I think a lot of this money we're going to plough into building up a larger army. Let's get to sort of the 150 mark on our number of battalions, which will cost us a fair chunk. We also, at some point, will end up getting steel frame buildings, so that will massively increase our sort of overall production capacity. Got our government administration buildings coming up. Got our chemical plants. Let's get all of our mines over to explosives, which is going to require us to build a lot more explosives, but is ultimately going to be worth it. Anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed this episode. If you have, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Of course, subscribe to the channel for lots more Victoria 3. Thanks for watching, guys. See you all in the next one.